Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew.
And my name is Emily.
And no, I'm not intoxicated yet. So that was just me being exhausted. It's been a week. My God.
Yeah, we're actually recording this on a Friday evening at my request. Thank you for being flexible.
Well, thank you for not being dead yet.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my God. Wow.
I appreciate it. What can I say?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, death is inevitable for everyone, Emily, but I'm just really grateful that it's not here yet.
You're gonna be so mad if you're at yourself if I die.
I have no. I live in a different zip code on a different city. Like I don't. I have zero agency in this. I haven't seen you in months.
You're gonna be so mad if I die.
Yeah, for several reasons.
Yeah, but mostly
none of them related to what I just said,
comment.
though. None of them related to what I just said.
You're gonna be so mad just because of that comment. You're gonna be like, I can't believe I said that to her.
I mean, normally I wouldn't be upset if she had died, but then I went and said something about it, and now I feel guilty.
That was the last thing I said to my friend who earlier that day had to, in the first time in the pandemic, get a COVID test.
How was it?
It was easy.
Really? How far did they go? Pretty far up your nose, or?
No, it was a self-test, and it was just like 3/4 of an inch up the nose. So I just kind of had to stick it up a little bit into the nostril and go around, 15 seconds. Go to the other nostril, 15 seconds. But can I just tell you? I have to step back a bit to kind of explain what happened. So last week on the podcast, I said I was supposed to play a show on Saturday night, my first show of the pandemic. But it was in question because someone at the venue in question, they had to have a COVID test. So the venue was closed while this employee was, or a few employees apparently were being tested for COVID. And they all came back negative. So, cool, we thought as a band. They came back negative and it was great. We were excited. We practiced Wednesday. After practice, the guitarist wakes up not feeling so great in the middle of the night. Doesn't feel so good on Thursday, gets a COVID test, does a responsible thing. Friday morning, the results come back, does the other responsible thing, which is to tell us. And he has COVID. He has a breakthrough case of COVID. He says he feels mostly good, low-grade fever, chills. He feels about 85% okay. So I'm glad that he doesn't feel too bad, too bad.
Was he vaccinated?
Yes, Pfizer in April. So
do you know what that tells me?
I don't care. So everyone, he's been around for the past 2 weeks. He's the only person he knows who's come down with any symptoms. So,
right.
So, everyone in the band got tested. We talked, and the singer said, well, if we all got tested and came back with no negative results by tomorrow, we could still do some sort of altered show. The drummer and I said, well, the Delta variant's incubation period is 3 to 5 days. So even if we did come back negative, if one of us ended up catching it, we would all know those were kind of untrustworthy results, and we wouldn't feel too good about playing that show. The singer said, yes, I forgot about incubation periods, canceled the show. Everybody, I think, did the right thing. I feel good about our decision, bad and angry about the circumstances. I'm just, I'm not, again, really not mad at the person who got sick. He did the responsible thing. The easy thing would have been to have just pretended he wasn't sick, gone ahead with the show. That would have been the easy thing to do. I'm really glad he told us. I was supposed to see my niece on Sunday. I would have been really, 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 really upset if I had gotten sick, had not known I was sick, and had hung out with my niece, who I had not is unable to get vaccinated because she's too young and got her sick. Right. So, priorities in life. What does it tell you, though, Andrew?
I was going to say something actually really positive and not snarky.
Okay.
That tells me is that my guess is, not as a doctor, but my guess is based on the info is if he didn't have the vaccine, he'd be a lot more messed up.
Yeah.
Very compelling reason
No,
to get the
you're
Fauci
right.
ouchie. Yep.
You're right. And that he was, I mean, he was with a bunch of people the weekend before.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say anything because I was like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks ago in Nashville with a bunch of people.
Totally.
And nobody that I know of in Nashville I was with got COVID.
Yep.
And I know a few of the people that he was with the previous week, and he told me that none of them have symptoms, and he was with them.
Yep.
And it's going to be a few days before. I mean, I'm getting tested again next week.
Yep.
I'm assuming that my test tomorrow, because if my test tomorrow comes back positive, I already had it.
Yeah.
If I mean, like, my results might come back as early as tomorrow. Like, I'll probably come back Sunday or Monday. Um,
Yep.
but man, like, so I just had to. I booked an appointment. I woke up. I started work. I got a text from the band. Was kind of working. I was gonna ignore. I'm like, wait, if the singer's texting me this early, it's probably important. Like, I kind of paused. I was like, wait, why is he texting me this early?
Right.
Oh, I read it. I read it twice. I read it 3 times. I wrote a note to my husband on a piece of paper. I was like, I have to go get tested for COVID right now. And I'm like, of the whole pandemic, this is the first time I've had to get tested. And I thought I'm because it's the first time I've been in contact with someone who has been sick since since you've been able to be tested.
Right.
So I mean that says a lot about my experience during the pandemic, I think. Uh but like I go, I get tested at a little pop-up clinic near Green Lake, and oh my god, dude. It was really easy. It was a great experience, but the person in front of me in line, like there's this kid and the mom, and the kid is just like as sick as I've ever seen another human. Like, just like, it was really gross to watch. Like, the kid was like doing the swab of the nose, and it was just like making the kid sneeze. And I get it. It's itchy. It's it tickles. But he was sneezing. He was
Yep.
coughing. He was unwell. And
Yep.
I'm like, this very well may be the worst hay fever I've ever seen, but I kind of think that I have the worst hay fever I've ever seen. so,
Sure.
uh, so this kid's like just not doing well. It's pretty gross. It's pretty obvious the kid has some sort of this kid has some sort of cold.
If it's not one thing, it's another. Yeah.
If it's not COVID, like I don't think that's allergies. I'm
Regardless,
not
it's not
convinced it was
sanitary.
COVID. Yeah, it was disgusting no matter what it was. Um, but I can hear the text telling the mom like, "Oh, it should be ready about 48 to 72 hours, so Sunday or Monday." And the mom
Uh
says,
huh.
"Oh, well, he's got camp on Monday." And I'm just thinking, "Ma'am, I don't think he does.
No.
I don't think he does have
No.
camp on Monday." Like,
No, that tells me his mama just had to cancel brunch on Monday.
I think, yeah, Mama has to cancel brunch on Sunday. Like, Mama should be getting a test because that's nasty. Like, maybe y'all both should have been tested because that, like, you've been around that for a while now, and that's nasty. I'm sorry, but I don't think he does have camp. That
Right. I mean,
sucks.
it very well might not be COVID. I mean, as a parent myself, there's the whole like kids when they're around other kids just get sick like every 2-3 weeks. That's normal.
Yeah, that kid was sick. That kid was sick. He was sick
Yeah.
with something. That kid should not be around other children. It's just that's all I'm saying.
Right. Right. I mean, I wouldn't send him to camp. That's for sure.
Hell no.
I mean, I guess it depends on the camp, but um, yeah.
Was the camp a leper colony? No. Nasty. So yeah, no, just like just so everyone knows, like I mean, it's only been 2 days. I mostly feel sad.
Yep.
Yeah, I mostly feel
Well, because
sad.
you're about to play like a live show. That's
For the first
that.
time since the pandemic, like probably like 500 days, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's I really do feel sorry for you on that one. That's a
I feel
heartbreaker.
sorry for me. So at this point, my next show will be at the end of the month with a Sunday Crush at the Connor Burn, August 28th. So please come out, make me feel loved at that one. Yeah.
Well, you have my
And then
condolences,
Jerf, and
but
then Jerf will, and I'll be playing bass at on September 2nd with Jerf at the Tractor Tavern. So it's a bigger venue, a better venue. So it's all around more exciting, but just a bit of a, it's a bummer.
yep. Yeah, bummer's a good word for it. I think that's just kind of the encapsulating word for 2021 is
Yeah.
bummer.
If you want to see, like, in a nutshell how I kind of feel, look at this thing that our Patreon supporter Joe sent us.
It makes me so happy.
It's for those listening. It's a round patch. The background
Yep.
is orange for Andrew. It's a gray cat with one yellow eye and one blue eye. The cat's got a little blip tongue going out, and above it
Yeah.
says heck, heck,
Heck.
heck,
It's unhecking me
heck.
a bamboozle.
And early in this episode, I'm going to thank our newest Patreon supporter, which puts us only $5 away from our goal. I have not yet given this person Discord access, so I'm actually going to do that right now. Live, I'll do it live.
Doing it live from
Doing it live.
Seattle.
Live from Seattle, Washington. Dean. Dean Alligator. Oh, no, that ain't right.
So I borrowed a ladder from my friend Jacob today. I didn't tell him though, so
We are
if he finds out, I'll never hear the end of it.
climbing Jacob's ladder.
Yep.
Where is this person? We are.
Told that joke at the office today, and I got a very delayed, like, just kind of the what is wrong? Oh, kind of reaction. Is great. Yep.
Patreon.
So
Brothers, sisters, all. Where the hell is this new Patreon supporter? Where the. Oh, God, why is this so hard?
and this, boys and girls,
Dean
ladies and gentlemen.
Alligator.
Wait, what now?
Dean Alligator.
I
Andrew's
heard
mouth
something
is
else
gaping open.
entire. I heard Noel Gallagher, and I'm like, what? Sorry. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap. Is this a space for me to fill with another joke or an anecdote? I was at the gym this morning, and my trainer said, "Okay, and we're gonna do like this explosive specialized push-up motion, but I can't demonstrate that for you. I just got my tetanus shot, kind of hurts." And I said, "Okay, that's fine, but I can't do that either." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I mean, I didn't get a tetanus shot. I'm just feeling a bit rusty." All right, where are we at with inviting our newest patron, who has immediately regretted their decision after hearing that joke?
I just invited Dean Alligator. Thank you, Dean. If you would like to
Thanks,
support
Dean.
us on Patreon and get access to our super secret, it's not really a secret, it's just like exclusive Patreon
Yeah, but secret sounds cooler.
chat, Discord. You just need to join us at the $5 level. You get access to that Discord. $10 level, you get a merch item of your choice. At
Yep.
the $25 level, we write you a song. But all we need is one more $5 Patreon supporter, and Andrew's gonna get cracking on that hardcore. I don't know, something version of a wiggle.
Something
I don't
loud
know.
and with distortion and with screaming and maybe a breakdown. I think there's going to be a breakdown involved, but
Maybe.
I can't promise a video for it, but I can definitely promise the audio.
Yeah.
Maybe a video in the future. Maybe that should be the $200 level. No, I'm super excited about that. I've been listening to it obsessively, and so now I routinely have fruit salad by the wiggle stuck in my head as I'm trying to wrap my brain around like how I want to do this, and do I want to do that or do I want to do that? Can I even do both of those things in the same? Like, yeah, it's kind of what my brain's been doing in the background.
You just trying to figure it out.
Trying to figure it out, man. Trying to figure it out.
I just trying to figure it out.
Yep. Yep.
I think you can figure it out. Listeners and viewers, you can also get our merch just on your own if you go to getallsetpodcast.com/shop.
Indeed.
We have
Our,
our most popular merch item is our For Fuzz Sake line. We have hats and shirts, including tank tops, which I like, normal t-shirts, and two style of hat. We have two hat styles.
I'm not bold enough for tank tops yet, but I'm actually like starting to feel like a little bit better about like I don't know, like I'm, I'm thinning out. It's
You are.
nice.
I can tell. I
Give me
mean,
another 6 months.
I'm obviously I'm a little cold right now. It's a little chilly in Seattle, but I mean, I haven't boxed in a minute because of my knee, but
Hmm.
like I'm feeling a little more confident about my arms lately. I got more tone. I also just don't care very much about what how other people think that I look. I like how I
Same.
look, and my husband likes how I look.
I like how I look, and my wife likes how I look. So
Yeah, those are the two opinions that matter in that order. Me, Rick. Me, Rick. Cool.
yeah, no, I've got me, Melissa, and then Mike Adams in third. So
I think Mike Adams probably likes how you look more than both you and Melissa combined because he is just such a beautiful human. He
so
doesn't
what's new
know.
with you? What's new with
What's with
you?
me?
We're
Okay.
just gonna
Well,
quickly exit that
I know
conversation.
I made that weird. Well, I got this for my show, and
Yep.
I need you to talk about it to the listeners.
Uh, as soon as you said that, your picture on the stream literally just went pixelated. So I can't.
Well,
Oh,
that's just
oh, it's cactus lights. Wait. So okay, I got this. Let me see if I can decipher what's going on here through the pixels. So we've got. Oh, there's multiple colors on those.
that's just
So
your
it's a.
internet connection. I'm sorry to say,
It's what?
your internet connection that made it
Sure.
pixelated. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that happens. So it's a black mask, but superimposed on the black. Our cacti. I think it's cacti, cactuses. I don't know. I've lost track of like my Roman and Greek,
cacti.
plurals, pluri. So multiple cacti look like saguaros with like a little red flower on top, and then the cacti light up, and I'm seeing some flashing cacti. I'm seeing some solid color cacti that then change colors.
There's
Oh,
different modes.
different modes. Yeah, look at that. Is there one where like it gradients? There we go. In between the different colors.
Yeah,
And then I think that one's just supposed to trigger my epilepsy. So,
yeah. I bought that for the gig tomorrow.
aw. Well,
I was
you've got
so
another one
excited.
soon
I
with the same
know.
group.
I know.
It'll be there. It'll be there. So, anyways, I guess it makes it super timely for the episode that we launched last week. Go back and listen to it, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I'm mad at FedEx Home because my guitar was supposed to be here. My baritone guitar was supposed to be here 2 days ago,
Did you check the
and
porch?
and then it was supposed to be here today. And no, it's in Oregon still. FedEx Home is bad. They're the ones who continuously yeet packages over my fence and lie about whether or not something was out for delivery. I actually told Sweetwater, I'm like, can you just stop using FedEx
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to mail me things? And they're like, yeah, we'll just use UPS instead. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, people can make those
Yeah,
requests. And
that's kind of cool.
I know Amazon will do the same. I've actually canceled. I had an ongoing subscription with a company, and they kept using FedEx Home, and it was so bad that I uh I canceled my subscription with the company because they kept it was a food thing, like a meal thing,
Uh huh.
and they kept like not delivering the thing. So the food would just be sitting in their warehouse for 3 days, and by the time it would get to me, it wouldn't be like not just not frozen anymore, it wouldn't be cold anymore. And I would like, the reason I did this food thing was so that I would use like there would be less spoilage because it was one of those things where like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
everything's
yeah.
perfectly measured out. Like,
Yep.
but if I have to keep like throwing the food away. It's not resulting in less spoilage, it's resulting in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
more. So I said, like, if you guys are going to keep using FedEx to ship to me, I can't keep using you because obviously there's this huge problem with FedEx in my area. And they're like, we have a contract. We have to use FedEx. I'm like, well, then I don't have a contract with you. So bye.
So canceled.
Yeah.
Um, no, although I will say I had a rough experience with USPS for Fox Cairo fulfillment. I feel really bad. So someone ordered that lives in the Seattle area, and they're very kind. They reached out and said, "Hey, I live in the Seattle area. Could we just meet up for it?" And I'm just looking at my schedule. Like, I feel so bad because I would love to, but there's no way I could possibly swing that right now. Um, and so I was like, you know what? I'll go and ship it to you. I'm so sorry. I can't make that happen. So I go and ship it. And I get a message. I went to go like check in like 5 days later. And this was a couple weeks ago. So I'm actually blanking on who messaged who first. But tracking had it updated. And it was supposed to be 3 day shipping in the Seattle area. So it should have been more or less next day. Had not arrived. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, no. And so like back and forth, like calling UPS. I actually went to my local USPS and said, hey guys, where it go? Where it go? And they're like, oh, we can't find it. Sorry. It might be lost.
I'm sorry.
So I sent the customer message. It said, hey, you know what? This isn't your fault at all. I'm just going to resend another one on Monday. I think this was like Saturday afternoon. And I kid you not, an hour later, I get the notification that it was delivered. It just went straight from cannot find it to delivered.
Well, problem solved. Okay. Neat.
Yeah. I was like an hour away from like starting to make the whole order over again. So
Yeah.
if that customer is listening to the show, thank you so much for being kind and patient,
Patient.
and very understanding because I feel really bad about that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I appreciate kind customers always.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that. I think I told the story in the Discord server first, but last a while, just like last week or so, my credit card got stolen,
Yep.
and I I just made sure I had all my ducks in a row. It's not my first rodeo with stolen credit cards. It happened a couple times,
Oh yeah, I
not like
forgot about this part.
not a lot of times, but like once or twice. So I just had like, okay, I know which purchases are not valid, and I caught it pretty quickly because it was a weird purchase.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I called. I'm like, hey, and also it was like on a Friday night. I was a little high. It's illegal in Washington State.
Legal. It's legal.
Yes,
Washington
it's
State.
legal in Washington State. So I'd like already taken my edible. It was already setting in, and I got like the notification. I'm like, I better deal with this now before it gets worse. So I like
Yep.
call. I'm like, hey, hi, how are you doing tonight? I then we're just talking. I'm like, yeah, so there's some fraudulent purchases. I have them here. It's only four.
And for an
I'm just
accurate
trying.
representation of how you probably sounded when this uploads to YouTube, like in
No,
this
don't do
section,
it.
just
Don't do
put
it.
it at half speed.
Yeah. So I have four purchases. I have three Sam's Club purchases for $45, which I assume were three Sam's Club membership purchases, which is an odd and suspicious purchase in and of itself. However, the one that actually did get flagged as suspicious was a $10 Heatonist purchase. And though I have purchased from the Heatonist before because I do love hot sauce, I did not purchase from the Heatonist on this particular occasion. My fear my credit card has been stolen. Could you please help? And the lady on the other end was really nice, and I was just talking to her, and I was just trying to be really polite, and
Yeah,
she was doing a
yeah,
great job. And you can tell, like, as we're going through, I'm just like, yeah, no, it's cool, it happens. And as I'm going through, like, she starts to giggle at
yeah.
me, and I realize I
Oh
think I
no.
might just be too cool and too chill. Like, I think she knows I'm high. And I think what really sets her off was I think at their discretion they can like speed up how quickly they ship you your new card. Like I think they can
Yeah,
choose whether or not they overnight it to you. Like if you're just like ah, they overnight it to you, and if you're like a dreamboat, they overnight it to you. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
she decided I was really cool, so she decided, and she's like, normally we do 2-day shipping, but for you, for no extra charge, we're going to do the overnight shipping for you. And I say, oh my god, thank you so much. And she's you're welcome, ma'am. Like she just could not stop. She just like kind of
Right.
giggled, and I was like, ah. She's like, she knows.
Either she knows or she's just like so naive, and like after a day of dealing with all the angry my credit card got stolen phone calls, she's just like, finally faith in humanity restored.
Yeah, I know. Like she, because I'm like, it's never her fault when my card gets stolen. Like by the time you call your card company, it's not their fault that like you accidentally bought something from a sketchy website that looked legitimate, you know?
Right, right.
Like
But
I know exactly. The thing is, what makes me most mad is I know exactly what I did. Like I'm not going to repeat it here, but I know exactly what I did that was wrong. And like every time my card has gotten stolen, like of all the times my card has gotten stolen, I'm like, I mean, like I suspected this was it, or I suspected that was it. I'm like, for the first time ever, I'm like, oh, yep, that was it. That did it. Yep, that did it.
yep,
But I felt so stupid the moment I did it. Like I canceled the order. They canceled the order and they stole my credit card. Yep.
yep,
Yep. And now they're sending me all these texts from like banks that aren't my bank. They're just trying to guess like every bank in the world.
right.
Like your account is and I finally texted give it up at them
Uh-huh.
and then they stopped.
Wow.
Like 3 days ago I texted give it up at them and then I haven't gotten another one.
Well,
Yeah.
they'll probably just start trying again like 3 months after they presume you've forgotten.
Yeah.
So,
We're
are
playing
you?
with you.
There we
Sorry.
go.
That was
Um,
not my story. I just thought that was a fun one to tell.
no, it's a great story.
It was, yeah.
No, so what's new with me is no, I haven't ordered a body for my guitar build yet. But I think I actually might have accidentally and embarrassingly decided what I'm going to do for it. But if I decide that's what it's going to
Embarrassingly.
be, if I decide that, I'll tell that story later. What I did order,
Embarrassingly.
uh,
Sorry. Oopsies. I just said whoopsies. I'm so sorry.
I did order. So so this guitar is not new. This
I
is
remember that guitar. We took that guitar to Yakima, Washington.
so this is my guitar in drop C, and this is my Ibanez. I never remember the. I do this about every year or so. Is I'm like, wait, what's the model number on this? And I spend like an hour like digging through the Ibanez.
I thought it was like a slash sig.
No, no.
No.
So I had slash sig pickups in it at one point
Oh, right.
from Seymour Duncan. So anyway, so this guy's got a hot rodded humbucker set in it right now. They sound okay, but they're a little muddy for tight metal type sounds. It's a great set of pickups. I've had them for
What are they?
hot rodded humbucker set by Seymour Duncan.
Seymour Duncan.
Yeah, so that's what's loaded in here right now. Uh, they're great for certain things. Uh, they're not my cup of tea for what I want this guitar to be right now, though. And so there's that. And so I've had a set of pickups picked out for a while that I want to put in this guitar. I just haven't ordered them for, I think I've decided that what I wanted like a year and a half ago. Just one of those, not super high priority, but I'm like, okay, well, the stars are aligning here. One, I want to be able to record some heavy stuff for the Wiggles cover. So um, this should be reimbursable to the
Okay.
podcast, right? Uh, Two,
Sure. Okay. I
I've
mean,
already decided.
we got some caches and
No, uh, I've decided what I wanted a while ago, and then three, um, that particular pickup set went on sale, and the reason for that is I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to assume a couple of things here. So Lambertones can tell me if I'm wrong here, but I did order a set of. Let me put this back before I drop it.
Stay on the mic.
I ordered a set of Lambertones grinders with, and I got the set that doesn't have the screws on it, so it's just the blank faceplate on it, which I think looks sick. Um,
Oh, I
and I
do.
think on this guitar,
I agree. I like that look. Does
I
it? I
could
don't. But I don't know. I don't know if it affects the sound at all. But I think it's a great look. I truly do.
I think for some guitars that work, some of them wouldn't. I think for this one, it absolutely would. And so I'm super excited about that. And part of the reason, and so my understanding here, ever so loosely, I haven't confirmed this with Curtis. Um, my loose understanding is Curtis has been going through some medical stuff recently, and so for everyone, just outside of this, general thoughts, prayers, vibes, incense burning, all of the above. Curtis is going through a rough time right now, and we should all send our love and support his way.
Yes, the
And
most love to Curtis. He's a real one.
he's a real one, and definitely going through some stuff right now. So,
Yes.
uh, with that, I want to say I saw somewhere, and I don't know if this is if I'm just remembering something. It's been that sort of week where like I can't remember where I read anything, or if I even read it, or if I had a
This
dream
has been
about it.
like the longest fucking week of my life.
Anyways, Lambertones ran a sale, and I think they're, if I remember this correctly, they'll be running a couple different sales, just to try and get a cat.
Tell me.
What?
Why didn't you tell me they were running a sale?
I put it in the group for
What?
the Discord server.
Damn it!
This
I
is
muted.
yesterday. So they did a limited sale for a limited number of humbucker sets. $100 off
Yeah,
for a
actually, I don't have very many humbucker guitars, so that's fine.
yeah, so $100 off for a $300 set. So that's like 30 something percent off. I mean 33% if we're going with
Oh
whole
my
numbers,
god.
but
I accidentally muted the Gear Talk channel in our group. I meant to mute it for like an hour the other day and I muted it completely.
well, um well, there you have it. So I ordered the set and excited to get that in, get that loaded into this guitar, and get some heavy duty riffs going. And I would like to think, and maybe I'm just wrong, but either way, I mean, the money's going towards Curtis's company. I'd like to think that that's a small thing that I can do to support him and what he's going through right now. So that's what community's for, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you meant to say or what you said, but yes. I'm sorry, my brain is more not work good.
Anyways, so that's that. Um, very exciting.
Heck.
Heck.
Heck. When my
For
second COVID test comes back negative, we need to have our barbecue off. We should invite Sean because we need to hang out with Sean Crawford.
should
I want
invite
to hang out
Sean.
with Sean. We should
I
invite Sean. Oh,
mean,
how
I've
is
got enough backyard
Jason?
space. Oh yeah, Jason. No, I got lunch with. Okay, so this is
Because I was
cool.
supposed to see Jason tomorrow, and I'm so sad because I was supposed to see Jason at the Jerf show, and now I'm quarantining, and I hope I get to see Jason before he leaves the Pacific Northwest. I sound really whiny,
I
but
think
I
if you did
feel
masked and outdoors
whiny.
and distance, I think it'd be all right.
I,
I don't know.
he's in town for a while. I know.
Yep.
Let me see what he said. He gave me some sort of like general like vibe of how long he was going to be around, but
Well, so for those of you wondering who we're talking about,
oh, he's one of our Patreon supporters.
Jason. Jason is has been a longtime supporter of the show from pretty early on,
One of the
and
originals, yeah, he was in the
yeah,
original Chatty Cats.
OG.
OG Chatty
And
Cat.
no, yeah. So Jason's been great. He's off. He's actually helped me out a little bit on Fox Cairo as well. I don't.
He makes good pick guards. He's gonna make a pick guard for a
He's
Tinder
just an all
guitar.
around super helpful, super nice, super friendly guy. He's very active in the Discord server. Great person to be friends with. I had the pleasure of having lunch with him today. It was a really great time. It's one of those like I like kind of looked at my watch. I'm like, oh, I gotta get back to work. Shoot. And then I looked at my plate. I'm like, I had 3 bites while we were sitting because I was just having such a good conversation.
Where did you have
So
lunch?
we got lunch at Baitong, so Thai
Oh,
food.
that nice.
Um, good food, good gravy. I got red curry over brown rice because I'm trying to go for more complex carbs if I'm gonna have carbs. Um,
Yeah, no, I've been eating healthier as well. I had spaghetti squash with since this morning. We've been wearing masks in the house, and I think he's gonna be hanging out on the guest bed, and also he's insisting on cooking.
aw,
Because I was like with spent 3 hours around somebody who had COVID.
right.
So he actually cooked a perfect dinner. He made spaghetti squash with turkey bolognese. Holy mother, you pour your Glencairn with a lot more whiskey than we do.
So for context, I came into the podcast with two different drinks. One, I was finishing up my Scotch ale from dinner, and then I
And you
also
really, I love that kind of glass style. It's the glass style that looks like a can with just the top
yep,
shaved off.
yeah.
It's from
This
Plastic
glass is
Pub.
yep. Pug. Flatstick Pub is a great local tap house and indoor mini golf. So we have a couple of the glasses. I'm actually a lifetime member. Uh, anyway, so Scotch ale, and I'm following up with a little bit of Ardbeg Ugadal Scotch, which is
Nice.
phenomenal. And when I say a little bit, I poured a little bit more, and I stared at it. I'm like, well, I'm only drinking 2 nights a week, and while that's not like an excuse for me like to binge, having a little bit of extra Scotch is not necessarily.
A shot and a beer is a pretty
Yeah.
normal drink combination.
Yep.
So,
And
whatever.
especially if it's Scotch ale and then Scotch, I mean, match made in heaven.
I
So that
hadn't finished
I
the
say
Tom
cheers.
Collins.
I'm gonna I'm gonna ask a dumb question. What's in a Tom Collins?
I'm
No,
gonna
it's a
go.
gin drink.
So I had my lavender infused gin, and so at band practice the other night, this is- the keyboard player makes she grows, dries, and rolls her own joints, and she usually puts them in plastic tubes and then just sells them. I guess I don't know, but she did not want to wait for the tubes to come in, so she just decided to be the joint fairy, and she brought them to practice. And then she made some offhand comment about like asking if the drummer had tequila in the house. And he did not. I'm like, oh, I'll just put a tequila order, or I'll put a drizzly order, and I'll get us some. She did mention liking margaritas. I'll just get some cutwater tequila, some cutwater margaritas, so you
Hmm.
can have some cutwater margaritas. And I figured I would give her like an approximate for like whatever she gave me, like in value, just like as a
Yeah,
trade,
yeah.
because I'm a Midwesterner and I can't just let somebody give me something without me giving them the same back. But to
Yep.
meet the minimum on Drizzly, um, I had to add something, so that I'm like, I'm going to get everyone the band of Topo Chico, a whole liter of Topo Chico, and then I still couldn't meet the minimum, which was a very low minimum. Everything was very cheap from the store on there. So then I ordered 2 Tom Collins mixers, but Tom Collins is basically gin, lemon juice, and simple syrup and club soda.
Oh, so it's like a
It's like a
whiskey
spritzer.
sour, but then swap with gin and then over soda water or top of soda water.
Sure. I've never
Interesting.
had a whiskey sour. I've had Tom Collins a lot, but I don't usually do whiskey mixed drinks very much in the summer. I do whiskey mixed drinks in the winter more. Like I'll do like
Sure.
uh toddies, a lot of toddies. Um, but yeah, and I'll make a Tom Collins at home a lot because it's so few ingredients.
Right. Right.
But I used the last of our current batch, and we still have a lot of lavender, and we're gonna make more our lavender infused gin. So we picked the lavender from my little lavender basket outside, and infuse it with just some Kirkland gin, and let
Yeah.
that infuse overnight. Which is we kind of grind it up with some sugar, mix it up
Right.
in a mason jar, and then we filter it into one of those half what's the thing that you put the beer in?
Growler?
Yeah, half growler. Yeah.
Like a 32 ounce?
32 ounce, exactly right. Yeah.
Crowler, I think, is the
A
term for.
crowler is when it's a can. A crowler is a can. A crowler is a.
Howler. Howler.
I've
Am I
never heard
thinking of a
that term.
howler?
I've never heard that term, but I believe that term exists if you are convinced that it exists.
I'm convinced that it exists. Now I'm questioning everything. I don't know. I haven't drank out a lot in the last year and a half, needless to
A
say. So,
half growler being a howler would make sense. I'm seeing them called howlers. I'm also seeing them called bullets, bombers,
Bomber's 22 ounce.
baby growlers, half growlers, 32-ounce growlers, and growlets. So I've definitely Googled it and immediately saw the word howler. So I'm going to go
All
ahead
right,
and
so
say that's acceptable.
I've not lost my marbles. I haven't taken melatonin for sleep lately, and I've had a couple of wacky dreams. Um,
Without melatonin?
no, with melatonin.
Mm.
No, like I had a dream last night that I was like on a late night hike to like a random cabin location on the coast of Australia, and then got attacked by dingoes, and then just ended up like staying the night with some random strangers, and ended up being like best friends with them. And they treated me like family. It was really strange.
Huh.
It
Did they
was
harvest
like
your organs
really
after?
strange. No, it was just like one of those like random stranger off the side of the road. Then like I just got along famously with them.
Huh.
It was really, really strange. And then I think they were having, I don't know. Then I woke up and went to the gym. So, should we talk about our topic?
We had a topic?
We do have a topic.
Just get to the topic.
Just get to the topic. It's
This week's episode of the Get Us Set Spodcast is this week's episode. Hey,
Sorry, what was that about my Glencairn glass being a little too full?
Andrew, may I talk to you privately?
Yeah.
I'm so tired and sad. I'm so tired and sad. No. This week's episode of the Get Offset podcast is sponsored by the Caroline Guitar Company. They make guitar effects pedals. My personal favorite truly is the somersault. It is essentially a chorus / vibrato pedal. It lives on my main pedal board, the one I use with my main band, Sunday Crush. I love that pedal. I currently have on my desk, randomly actually, 3 others Caroline pedals. I have the Hawaiian Pizza Fuzz. I have the Blues Overdrive, which started as a joke and became real, just like the Hawaiian Pizza, actually. There's a trend there.
Yep.
And then I have the Icarus Preamp Overdrive. Oh, God, that's on? I should have turned that off. Yeah, they make great pedals.
Great pedals and great people, too.
And Felipe and I are cooking up some fun stuff. That does not involve pedals.
Cooking, you say?
Well, somebody's cooking up something, but we're kind of passively
Fair
involved
enough,
in
fair
it.
enough. Well, I don't have an elegant transition to our topic after that.
Usually that's my job, but I forgot what the topic is.
So I don't have an elegant transition. I'm just going to jump right into it. There's been a topic that's been brought to the forefront of the gear industry in the last week or so. I think it was earlier this week. And it was because Lollar Pickups made a post.
Oh, right.
And their post was lengthy and well written. I'm going to condense it very crudely here. It was an announcement they were changing the name of a popular set of their pickups. And the set of pickups was originally that they had named it Blackface. And Blackface is a reference to the Fender amps from the mid 60s. So like 1965 was like the classic Blackface year. And that's a term within the gear community that's been used, understood. That's a Fender Blackface amp. We all know what that is. We just understand that that's what we're referring to. And Lawler came out and said, "Hey, you know what? We've been thinking about this a lot lately, and we don't think that this is really appropriate. And whereas we understand that no one inside the community means this maliciously, maybe people outside of the community or on the edges of the community might hear that and be like, what?" And the follow up to that is even people in the community might not be particularly comfortable with that, and understandably so.
Or
So
like, I mean, that, let's be real, it's it's a little niche. Like, even within the community, like, you hear those terms, but you don't always know what they mean.
yeah, it's. I remember like hearing someone refer to him like, "Excuse me." I think when I was working at Guitar Centers when I heard it for the first time, and was like, "Oh, okay," and I kind of just like moved on, accepted it for the term that it was, and since then I admit like I've had like kind of a growing like, do I want to say something about it? Like, is this gonna and yeah, like I've been uncomfortable with it for a while, but I admittedly haven't had the
Chutzpah.
the sure. I haven't had the pizzazz, the desire to like really step out that little bit further. Be like, hey guys, are we really okay with this? So with that said, I wanted. I mean, that's really betraying how I feel about it. I don't think I was ever terribly comfortable with the use of blackface as a term with Fender amps, and then brownface is another one for Fender amps as well for a different era. I was never really particularly happy with the usage of those two terms, and I shamefully admit that I just didn't say anything about that. And so, with all that said, huge thank you to Lawler for being the one of the ones to be like, "Hey guys, no, we're done, we're good."
Yeah. And I think that just the response has made it kind of clear that with like a lot of things, because I think last week we talked about how, in terms of venues saying you have to be like vaccinated and wear a mask, like just nobody really wanted to be the first. And then when someone was the first, a lot of people jumped on board. I think with this, nobody wanted to be the first. And now that Lawler has been the first, they've gotten in, a largely warm support. I mean, don't read the Guitar World comments, obviously. Um,
Right.
I think other brands and people follow suit. I mean, Steve Selvage our friend Steve Selvage from the Hold Steady, our friend Mike Adams, Pusheen from Mike and Mike's Guitar Bar,
Yep.
had similar thoughts
And I
about
believe
it.
they'd already changed their terminology and
They've been
as
calling
well.
them plates instead of face,
So
which
brown
makes
plate,
more
black plate,
sense.
because
And
it's literally the plate on the. I would grab my amp. It's literally like the control plate right at the front.
right, and I will be honest in that though I'd heard the term face, I just hadn't really thought about it. I'm not an amp guy per se. Like, amps are not like my forte. So it's not like terminology I'd been around a lot. Um and I'm kind of embarrassed to say I hadn't given it as much thought as I should have. And so when I saw Lawler announce that, my thought was, "Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was I
Yeah.
yes, obviously." And like, calling something by the year is, I feel like, significantly less confusing.
Sure.
I feel like that exudes more clarity. Just in general, I think that's obviously the plate color is a visual indicator, but as far as guitarists and musicians are concerned, year number of gear is an extremely common way to, um, you know, uh, qualify something. So I don't think it should not be controversial for the Guitar Gear community to change something from being black plate or face to the year. Because we talk about Guitar Gear by year uh frequently, and we talk about color a lot. Yes, sure. We talk about Boss pedals by their what's the color delegation with Boss
Silver
pedals,
screw.
Andrew?
The
Silver
silver screw.
screws,
Yep.
yes.
No, I mean,
Obviously that
I
doesn't.
think color's fair. I actually
It
think
is
that
it is typically fair, but I mean blackface does have that unfortunate and unintended racial connotation, and that is unintended, is unfortunate. And though it's not on purpose, we cannot pretend that it does not have that just discomfort. And really, literally, what's the harm in changing it?
I don't
Just
think
what's the
there's no
harm?
harm other than
And
just
yeah,
people sitting in the cab of their truck that they don't use for hauling anything with sunglasses on, taking a selfie and ranting. Uh,
yeah.
no, I mean I don't think there's any
Who do we
harm.
know? Who do we know who does that, Andrew?
I'm pretty sure middle class fancy makes fun of them frequently. So I'm okay with like brown plate, black plate, and I think it's okay to refer to like a particular area because we're in this particular instance we're not talking like one standout year. I mean, 65 has been like the black plate hallmark of like this is like the holy grail year for that, but there's multiple years there. Same with silver face, silver plate, brown plate. Then there's the blondes, the tweeds. I mean, there's a range. There's a couple different eras, and then when we talk about like with fenders, we're talking about like pre CBS era, CBS era. Um, uh, Gibson's we're talking like is it Norland era? I mean, there's like eras and like groupings of years as well. It's also very common in terms of notating the origins of a particular piece of gear,
Mm-hmm.
giving it a ballpark. So I think it's fair. The one wondering that I have, and one that I probably shouldn't be doing live on the air, but I'm going to do anyways, is I would like to assume that that wasn't ever a racially charged thing with the way that that phrase was used with amps, but I there's also that part of me that's like been surprised at a number of things just as I've continued to learn and be educated on things uh, outside of the scope of what I've learned in my experiences as a white guy is I want to know more.
Like, why did somebody start calling it that?
Who was the first one to start calling that? When did it start? Did that start getting popular? And was that just kind of a careless? "Hi, it's a blackface amp. I don't know.
Yeah, like, oh, like was somebody like, oh, like Al Jolson wore blackface in the jazz thing, like that kind of thing,
Right,
or was it like the face of the amp is black, so we're gonna call it black because the face of
right.
it is, yeah.
So like
I mean,
I would
that's
like
a
to
fair question. I mean, that is legitimately a fair question
I would like to
because
assume
there
fair
is like
intentions.
there is like the question about a lot of word origins. Like there are a lot of word origins that there's some word origins that are like they're urban legends about whether or not they're like bad. Like there's the urban legend, like the rule of thumb is that you could only beat your wife with like a stick that was the width of your thumb. That's not actually true, but there are other examples that are true that are equally horrifying.
Right.
So I get that concern and I appreciate it.
I don't think I've seen anybody like actually look into it. I'd be curious if the folks at Fender know, and if
Oh,
within like their own internal lore and history, if they've got a definitive answer to that. I really don't know.
I'm
What
gonna
I
do some
do know
random
is
site.
while I am wondering that out loud, I'm fairly confident that that's not an issue within Fender currently, and by no means is that like I'm not
Mm.
gonna call that out as like a Fender is a whole bunch of races. Like I really don't think that's the case. Um, I would be curious to see if Fender has like followed in, like kind of given their 2 cents on it, or if Fender's going to start changing their terminology to black panel, brown panel for
That's a
reissues and
great
whatnot.
question, as the word blackface appears 52 times on the Fender website.
hmm I think it would be really neat to see Fender kind of pivot on that and say, "Hey guys, we're going to actually piggyback on this and agree. That's probably time for us to change this, and we're going to go through and change the way that our marketing refers to this era of amplifiers."
Yeah.
So, I
I'm gonna
mean,
look for black plate now.
if someone at Fender is listening, I mean, we'd love for you to pitch that upwards and put that in front of whatever marketing executive you need to make that happen. Get buy off on that.
Fender actually has trademarked the word blackface.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean,
Well, actually, there's a trademark symbol next to one of the appearances, so I'm actually not
Is it
sure about
is it
that.
TM or is it the R with the circle?
It's TM. Because I know the R with
TM.
the circle is a copyright. Don't talk to me about copyright law.
The R with the circle is for registered trademark, I thought. And the TM is just for trademark, but you don't have to have it registered to claim it as that. You're just saying, hey, we're just going to act like it is a trademark.
One is registered indeed. Let's see.
I mean, either way, like regardless of whether or not they've put like the money into getting it registered and claimed, uh, I don't. It doesn't cost that much to get a registered trademark.
How much does it cost, Andrew?
Depends on who your lawyer is and what they charge. But because it does got to go through the patent office, I mean, you could do it yourself, but that's a lot of time and energy when you could just hire someone to do it for you.
Let's see.
But I mean, no more than a couple
One's a
grand to register a trademark is kind of the ballpark figure I'm aware of.
Vintage blackface. Electronic sound for pickup guitar and basses. 2004. Lollar actually owns the trademark for vintage blackface.
Wow. And
Ah,
if
since
Lawler's the one
2004.
coming out saying we're done with this, then Fender has any sort of trademark or IP around that, I don't think it'd be much different for them
Pretty
to abandon and
funny.
move on.
I don't know why that kind of makes me laugh at someone that Lawler has vintage blackface as their
Trademark.
yeah. I don't. That's pretty funny.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
so Fender doesn't have it as a registered trademark.
All the more reason.
Yeah.
Lead the chain. Help lead the charge on that is kind of what. If someone from Fender's listening, I mean, I see this as a no brainer, and Fender is
Nothing for
positioned
Silverface. Nobody wants to trademark Silverface.
dibs.
Tibbs. Nothing for Brownface.
I mean, in the black plate era was by I think by far is like the holy grail, quote unquote, of like that vintage Fender sound. Um,
Well, Blackplate's trademarked in 2019 for components for audio devices, receiving tubes, vacuum tubes, reverberation units by Douglas McAllister for tube amp doctor in Germany.
Interesting.
So someone's maybe Lawler wanted to change it to Blackplate, but it was already
Mm-hmm.
trademarked. Close enough, but not like this is obviously not
Not for
components for audio
pickups.
devices. But components
Right,
for
right.
audio devices, maybe they felt it was too close, so they changed it to 64, which is you can't. I don't know if you can trademark a year like that.
Maybe it's not necessarily just a year, just more of a number that goes with the trademark.
Mm.
All
Yeah,
depends on the
so
alphabet soup you put together for it.
Blackplate's trademarked 964.
Yeah, it's not like
Collecting.
Fender had a trademark of blackface anyway, so they're not relying on that IP claim.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's a. I'm gonna be honest. That's not a great thing to trademark. Not a great American history word to trademark.
For American history, no. I recognize that like a lot of people feel like that this has been just like this is how we talk about amps and it's not meant maliciously whatsoever. Like
It
I
doesn't
don't.
matter. Intent doesn't matter.
I agree with you. I'm just saying I don't think
Yeah.
anybody had malice in their hearts. It's just more of one of those like now that we've all had a chance to think this through a little bit more. It's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, there's really no reason to not update that.
Change it, yeah. Update it.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's just like sometimes you just got to update things to kind of get with the times and you have to it's fine. Nothing's changing. Nothing's changing about how the pickups are. I mean, it's just the name on the back, like what's written in like white on the back of the pickup is changing. What's called on the website is changing and nothing else is changing. And if you're that mad about what something is called, then you need to reevaluate some stuff because that's not
you need
healthy.
therapy.
Yeah, that ain't healthy.
And I'm not even meaning that sarcastically. That's just a legitimate like no, like you should see someone about that. Um,
Yeah, that's just like it's not okay. Like if you're that upset about something that's really so minor, it's like I'm more okay with somebody getting like that upset about changing the formula of Coca-Cola. That seems more justified than like changing the name of Coca-Cola.
are they going to put cocaine back in it? Because then I'm not going to complain.
They just change the formula every once in a while so they can change it back, and then people are like, "Oh yes, this is what
That's
I
the
want to
original, yes.
Oh yes, this is just pump it directly into my veins."
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, 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 yep. So, anyways, thank you, Lawler, for leading the charge in that. I've seen other content creators kind of jump in and share their 2 cents. I saw Mike Adams just posted a video on it. Go watch
Our
that. I mean,
Pacific Northwest neighbors. You
Pacific.
love
That
to
feels
see
so
it.
good to say.
Our
Um,
neighbors.
our neighbors.
Our neighbors.
Yarp. Uh,
Our
yeah. I mean,
neighbors.
it's good to see other content
Our
creators jumping in on this. It was great to see the comment section on that with all the positive comments on the Instagram post. Uh, I didn't want to not say anything though because I think this is worth something. Like every content creator in this industry, I think should be saying something about it. And I just wanted to be one
Don't
more
say
voice in
that.
the.
I'm sorry.
I
Don't say
understand
that.
that from a content exclusivity, want to try drive more traffic to our channel. That's the worst
No,
thing I could
no,
have
no,
said.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no,
all
no, no,
right.
no, no, no. That's not what
What
I
did
meant.
I
That's
what
not
did
what
I
I
do
meant. That's not
wrong?
what I
What
meant.
did
That's
I
not
do
what I meant.
wrong?
That's not. No, it's just like I don't want to even say it, but like when the whole thing was about like the the this video contains paid promotion thing, and then that whole thing went like every content creator should be very clear when something was sent to them for free. There was that conversation. It was just ended up being
Yeah,
such a nightmare for every single content creator. Like
sure.
even and it got to the point where even when you were buying something, someone would be like, "Did you get sent this for free? Did you get paid? You can't be trusted." I'm like, damn, then don't watch my shit if you don't trust me. I don't care.
Then stop voting for people because they all getting paid to tell you things.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, but speaking of content creation, did you see that my Cloud Titty guitar video has 8.2 thousand views?
no, I didn't see that. That's amazing.
It's at 8,279 views, 134 comments. The most controversial thing I've ever done in my life is refinish this guitar.
That's amazing.
The
I feel
most.
like of all the things we like I couldn't pick any one thing that we've done in the show that's like more controversial, but I'm also kind of like just getting a guitar refinish. But people have strong opinions, and
I think people
it's
like I kind
entertaining.
of get because it's so ridiculous. I'm sure like people kind of are like, I wish that the person who would buy this would like want it for what it is. But I'm like, man, most popular city in the world to buy a guitar has to be Nashville. Like it has to be one of the most popular cities in the world to like go there for the explicit purpose of buying a guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? One.
Go to
Carter
Nashville on
Vintage
vacation, buy a guitar, bring it home. That's your souvenir.
and Carter Vintage is one of the most trafficked guitar shops in Nashville, if not
Yep.
the world. And this one was sitting on that floor for 3 years.
Maybe they assumed it wasn't for sale. It's kind of like when you go into like a restaurant and there's something on the wall that's like just for.
And it was on their website. I talked to two people who were like, "Man, that's been there for so long. You can get that for a song." And I don't know if I got for like their definition of a song, but like I
I
definitely
mean,
got it for less than I've
studios
seen.
ain't cheap.
No, a Parsons B bender ain't cheap.
That is true.
Like it's more it's more to get a B bender installed new than I paid for that guitar. Is all I'm saying. Like I got a great deal on that guitar. I really got a great deal on that guitar I bought that guitar for the hardware. Did you watch the video I did about like when I think I don't think I posted it, but I sent this to Sean from Gun Street because I might do some upgraded wiring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The pickups aren't actually soldered together. They're not like soldered to they're not soldered to
They're just
the
like twisted
stupid.
on or something.
They're twisted on and there's a little cap that they're kind of like
Yes.
shoved into. I'm
Oh
not
no.
I'm not kidding. They're just kind of like shoved into a cap,
Yep,
shoved into a
that'll
cap.
do.
And
That'll
then the
do.
one then, like, the one like, one of the 2 things is, like, actually soldered together and, like, taped, and it's, like, kinda haphazardly taped together.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the biggest, like, coldest bulb of solder I've ever seen, like, I can't believe this guitar works. Like, you ever take apart a guitar and you're like, "This worked? How
Yeah,
did
I
this
have done that
work?"
before.
I am like I look, I'm like,
My favorite when there's like globs
"How?"
of solder like just left in the cavity.
It's just, like, rattling around in there, like, you just shake it like
Solder iron burn marks.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And, like, there are pieces missing from, like, the input jack. Those G&Ls have really weird input jacks. I'm
Yeah.
a little worried about putting it back together. But, yeah, man, that's a weird guitar. Like, that's weird. It's fucking weird, dude. Yeah, so, like, I took
It's
the thing
getting a lot
apart.
less weird though.
How's it getting less I'm gonna make it less weird is what you're
Yes, there you
saying.
go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like I didn't think that thing could get more weird when I was taking it apart, and somehow it did. I don't know why I thought it would be less weird on the inside. I
Well,
don't
I
know
mean,
why I
if
thought
someone went
that.
through that much effort to finish it the way that it was finished, you'd think they'd go through like the extra 10 minutes of like making sure the insides look decent.
It doesn't take that long to just solder it probably took
Hmm.
longer to make sure those caps got on it, like, correctly than it would've
Right.
taken to, like, solder like, I
I
don't
just if that this just makes me wonder like who did this? I like can we interview them? I want to know.
I want to meet this human so badly. I wanna
Like I'm
meet this
imagining
person.
like a, a late middle age electrician that
No, it's not an electrician. Electrician would have soldered this shit, dude. This is
no
not an
the caps though.
electrician.
General
No,
contractor.
no, they would have soldered it.
All right, all right, all right.
This was not somebody with a soldering iron. This is not.
Well,
Come on,
yeah.
man. No, this is not an electrician. This is not a general contractor that anyone should hire. Maybe it was a general contractor. Maybe it was the guy who detailed my car who only charged me $250 cash. He did the job. He certainly did the job. Definitely charged me like 400 times less than like the other lowest quote. Did the job. Definitely went out of business a year later. I loved that guy. So sad he went out of business.
Or he just finished laundering all his money.
I don't
Just saying,
care what
running
I
a
don't
cash business.
listen, I don't care what he did. He saved me $750 when I was 22 years old. I love him. I don't
Fair enough.
care.
Fair enough. I mean, if that's where your standards are,
When I was 22, yeah, $750 saved was my standard. That was my standard when I was 22 years old. What were your standards when you were 22? Paying $1,000 to paint 4 panels on your car or paying $250 to paint 4 panels on your car?
um, you're assuming I had that much because I was married with a small child at
Did you have
22. So
$250?
no.
Yeah, I barely had $250. I sure as shit didn't have 1,000. Love that guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Why do you think I ran a blog in Nashville called NashvilleForFree.com? It's not because I made money. It's not because I had money. It's because I did not. I wanted to know what was free. So I started a blog about free stuff and figured out what was free. Because when you start a blog about free things in your city, people send you tips about free things in your city. It's pretty cool.
And now we just have a really sketchy Craigslist free ad section.
I mean, that always existed, and that was actually a recurring thing on the naturalfree.com. My friend Michelle would
Oh.
do every once in a while just a list of the funniest free things.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
the sort of thing like, because I went to college in LA. Me and my
Oh
buddy,
my
he was.
god.
I mean, I'm sure you already know where this is going. We just go through like the free listings, and it was just a combination of like, oh my, that's disgusting, and the next you're like, oh, actually, I kind of want that. Hey, are you too drunk to drive right now? Let's go. And that was pretty much that. That was like a Thursday night in a nutshell.
Well, in Seattle, we have the Buy Nothing group, so there just wasn't really as much need of it here.
I haven't touched Craigslist since. I haven't even looked at Craigslist since I bought my base, which is over here because that was a Craigslist buy. That was the
Oh,
last time I've even like looked at Craigslist.
what did your Jennings do that it's in the corner this week?
Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to see if you would notice.
I did.
This is week 5 that I've been doing this with various guitars.
No, you've been doing this for a long time. You just don't do it
Yeah, I took a break though.
consistently. Okay.
I'm totally kidding. I have not taken a break. Or I did take a break. This is the first week back doing it.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's a part of me that kind of hopes that someone just wait, what? Paused it and then like went through the thumbnails from the last 5 weeks.
What?
I like tricking people. That's what I do. Yeah.
Ah. You like
Um,
deception.
I do. It's entertaining. What can I say?
Is it?
It is.
Is it?
Well, I don't have anything else really to add to the subject matter at hand other than wondering now, like, should we reach out to Fender and say, hey guys, have you noticed? So
I'm sure they've noticed, dude.
that's all. That's all.
Do you want to see if Andy Mooney will do a podcast again? I don't know. They might give us a quote. We'll talk
They're
about it
pretty
later.
good with that. I mean, they did. They gave me some really great material for the article that I wrote with Matt Dunn for Ultimate Guitar. Some really great interview material in that
Oh
article.
no, they're so great with quotes. Like
Yeah,
sincerely, they are very, very generous with that. I think they do a lot of things great. Yeah, so all I can say is now my next show is August 8th at Connor Byrne. Wear a mask and get vaxxed. Delta's no joke. Albeit again, my guitarist was with a group of people the other weekend, and he's the only one who got sick that we know of. I don't have my results back, so please, everybody, hope I don't get sick.
indeed. Oh, also on that note, if someone tries to tell you something about the Ligma variant, it's a trap. Don't fall for it. It's just one massive joke. Like I'm actually trying to help people now. Like before, a minute ago, I was trying to deceive people. Now I'm actually trying to help you, save you from deception.
Are you talking about Lambda?
No, Ligma. Okay, so this is a really dumb thing. When I was in middle school, it was like really popular. Do you know what I'm talking about now?
No, I don't. I don't like super duper care. I
That's
know
fine.
that lambda is the next letter in the Greek alphabet as a
If
variant
people
because
want to know, they can look it up.
I did see Revenge of the Nerds, and I do know they all pledged to lambda 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 because it was the only fraternity that didn't require a picture, and also that movie did not age well, so I don't recommend watching it. Ah,
Pertinent information. If someone says, "Have you heard of the Ligma variant?" Don't fall for it. Don't even just stare at them and blink, and then they'll be like, "All right, fine, you know." Even if you don't know, and if you would like to know, do so at your own risk. NSFW, but check it out if you so desire. And with that, thank you for listening.
thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. Thanks for trying to understand this guy.
Thank you for gracefully understanding.
I'm Emily. I try real hard.
And I'm Andrew.
Vote on who you think makes the better barbecue.
Oh. All right.
Bye.
Bye.